Now what we have is the beginning of a Boomi integration process. Every process begins with a start shape, and you could think of that as connection number one. That is the source that we're going to use as part of our integration. All of these integrations are configured through things that you're familiar with: drag and drop, point and click, leveraging a series of shapes, which you'll see right down the middle here. These shapes all perform a certain function, and you'll leverage those to not only connect to the data, but map the data, as well as add any logic to your process as you begin to build this out. So let's go in and we'll configure our start shape. Every connector shape looks the same in that you'll get a library of connectors. So if I drop this box down, what you'll get is all of our branded connectors and our generic connectors. Branded connectors are connectors that we've actually written around someone's API. So things like a Salesforce, Salesforce.com, or a NetSuite, or a Taleo, a Workday, SAP. Those are examples of branded connectors. But we also have generic connectors. So any ODBC, JDBC compliant database, we could get to that through our database connector, as well as flat file integration, FTP. If you have any RESTful type web services, we can use our HTTP client, as well as any web services, SOAP-based web services. We can use our web services SOAP client. For this example, we'll configure a Salesforce connector. So I'm going to select Salesforce. The action is going to be a GET because it's my beginning point. And then two key pieces of information that you'll see as a reoccurring theme across all of the connectors. That is the connection and the operation. The connection is just telling it, how do I connect to that particular application? So let's go in and we'll configure a new Salesforce connector. I'm going to provide it with my login. And then I'll provide it with a password. In addition to that, I'll need to provide it with a security token. The security token is often required for other applications in order to gain access to them through some other external means. I'm going to say OK, and I'll click on Save, and now I have my connection information as part of the connector. The next step in this is to configure an operation. An operation is just telling it what to do. So I'm going to give this a name, and in this example I want to go out and I want to query account information. And in order to bring in a view, or what I consider a business representation of the objects and fields that you want to work with as part of the integration, you would click on this import button. This import button allows you to go out and dynamically browse the schema for the application that it is you're wanting to work with as part of the integration. So I select the connection information, which is the login credentials that I configured in the previous step. I'll click on Next. This is going to go out and log into my Salesforce instance. It's going to bring me back a list of all of the available objects that I can bring in as part of this operation. This will bring back any standard objects as well as any custom objects that I might have as a part of that Salesforce CRM system. I'll just click on account information. The action is going to be a query. I'll click on Next, and then what happens is it'll bring back a list of available child objects associated with that parent. So if I wanted to create an operation that not only brought back the fields from the account object, but I also want to associate contacts or opportunities, I could select those here when I'm creating my operation. I'll click on Next and click on Finish, and now I have a visual representation of the object and the fields that I want to work with as part of this integration process. I'll click on Save and Close, and now I have connection number one, or for this example, my source, which is Salesforce.com. I'll click on OK. The next step in this process is let's configure our second connection. This will be our target or our destination for this integration process. And the integration that we're creating today is going to be a Salesforce to database, so I'm going to select database as my connector type. Since it is the destination, I'm going to do a send as the action. And I've already configured a connection for my SQL instance as well as an operation. Just select my insert. And we'll say OK there. So now what we have is we have connection 1 and connection 2, meaning our source and our destination configured as part of this integration.